Jaliek Rainwalker was born in 1995 into a troubled world. His birth mother struggled with drug addiction, and he was placed in foster care at an early age. Jaliek had a brilliant mind and a sharp personality, but he also battled severe emotional issues, likely caused by early neglect and trauma. By the time he was 7, Jaliek had bounced through multiple foster homes, never staying long. Eventually, in 2002, he was adopted by Stephen Kerr and Jocelyn McDonald, a couple living in Greenwich, a small rural town in upstate New York. At first, it seemed like Jaliek had finally found a permanent home. But cracks began to show. Stephen and Jocelyn homeschooled Jaliek and raised him alongside their biological children. But instead of therapy or stability, Jaliek's behavior reportedly worsened under their care. He would have emotional outbursts, and at times he made verbal threats, including one where he allegedly said he wished someone were dead. Stephen Kerr decided he could no longer care for Jaliek. Just days before the boy vanished, he called a crisis respite home, hoping to unadopt Jaliek, a rare and controversial legal process. Kerr later told police that on the night of October 31, 2007, he had taken Jaliek to stay at his father's empty house in Greenwich. He claimed he and Jaliek had pizza and watched a movie. Then, sometime during the night, Jaliek allegedly ran away. By the morning of November 1st, Jaliek Rainwalker was gone, and he has never been seen again. Kerr waited until 12 hours later to report Jaliek missing. He told police Jaliek had likely run away, given his troubled behavior and history. But several things didn't add up. Jaliek left behind his duffel bag, clothes, and a small stash of money. There was no confirmed sighting of him anywhere. The house was rural and secluded, not a place a 12-year-old could easily vanish from. Police grew suspicious. They found a note on the kitchen table that read, "Dear everyone, I'm sorry for everything. I won't be a bother anymore. Goodbye, Jaliek." It looked like a suicide note, but experts said the tone didn't match Jaliek's usual way of writing, and Kerr refused a polygraph. The boy's former foster parents said he wouldn't have written a note like that. Stephen Kerr's odd behavior. As the investigation continued, Kerr's behavior became increasingly bizarre. He hired a lawyer immediately. He refused a full search of his home. He refused to be interviewed on camera. He never joined any search efforts. Then came a critical moment. In 2008, surveillance footage from a local business revealed that Kerr's car had not stayed parked at his father's house all night as he had claimed. It had been driven during the night, suggesting he left and came back. But where did he go? Despite the mounting circumstantial evidence, police could not arrest Kerr. There was no body, and Kerr stuck to his story. Over the years, volunteers and law enforcement searched rivers, woods, and abandoned buildings across upstate New York. In 2012, Kerr and McDonald sold their home and moved to Vermont, cutting most ties with the area. They refused to speak to reporters or assist in any search efforts. In 2022, the case saw renewed attention after New York State Police conducted a dig at the old Kerr property, including excavating a section of the backyard. The dig did not produce Jaliek's remains, but it reignited interest in prosecuting the case based on circumstantial evidence and deception. Then in 2023, police publicly named Stephen Kerr as the prime suspect in Jaliek's disappearance and officially declared it a homicide. They released new information: cell phone data, the suspicious letter, the movement of Kerr's car, and a pattern of psychological abuse toward Jaliek, including statements that Kerr once called him possessed. Kerr's motive: Stephen Kerr wanted Jaliek out of his life, permanently. Experts believe he likely killed the boy that night and disposed of the body in a rural or remote location before morning. His motive? A mix of frustration with Jaliek's behavioral issues, fear of legal repercussions if he returned to the adopted child, desire to maintain control over the family narrative. Despite the strong case against him, authorities were still building a prosecutable file as of 2025. The community of Greenwich remains haunted by Jaliek's disappearance. A park bench bears his name. Every year, candlelight vigils are held. His biological siblings and past foster families still speak publicly demanding justice. Police have hinted that an arrest may come soon, based on new witness interviews and technology that was unavailable in 2007.